This is your need to know. This is your need to know.
Hey there, fellow knowledge seekers. You guys sent in a ton of research about ant agriculture, and wow, this is going to be a fascinating deep dive. We've got scientific papers, excerpts from some books, and even taxonomic lists. It's wild.
Sounds like our listeners are really interested in how these little creatures became such amazing farmers.
Absolutely. And the thing that really gets me is that this is not something new. Like, this isn't some new fad in the ant world.
No, not at all. Ant agriculture has been going on for millions of years. Just think about this. As of 2022, ants have been estimated to assist in the dispersal of seeds for over 11,000 plant species.
Wow.
Not only that,
Yeah.
but they have mutualistic relationships with at least 700 plant species, which is incredible when you compare that to us humans, who only interact with around 260 plant species for our own agriculture.
Yeah, it's fun. Whenever I hear ant agriculture, I always immediately picture those classic leafcutter ants, marching in their lines, carrying those little pieces of leaves. But our sources suggest that there's a much wider world of ant farmers out there.
Oh, absolutely. Leafcutter ants are just the tip of the iceberg, really. There's a whole range of ant species that have evolved these unique and intricate ways of cultivating their own food sources.
Wow.
For example, you have the Siphomarmex and Trachomyrmex genera. In fact, plant farming by ants wasn't even discovered until 2016.
Wow.
That's how much we're still learning about these incredible creatures.
That's such a recent discovery. It really makes you wonder, what other secrets are still out there just waiting to be unearthed, in the ant world. But, one of the things I thought was fascinating in all this research is that human and ant agriculture share some pretty striking similarities, like this whole concept of convergent evolution, right?
Exactly. It is fascinating how both humans and ants, separated by millions of years of evolution, have arrived at very similar solutions for the challenges of farming.
Mm.
Essentially, convergent evolution suggests that when different species face similar environmental pressures or functional constraints, they can develop similar traits or behaviors.
So it's not that ants are consciously copying us or vice versa. It's more like there are only so many effective ways to cultivate and manage crops, and both humans and ants have kind of stumbled upon some of the same solutions.
Precisely. And the examples are fascinating. Both ants and humans have discovered the benefits of cultivating fungi as a food source. Both prepare substrates for their crops, fertilize them, weed them, and even engage in pest control.
It's like we're looking into this miniature mirror reflecting our own agricultural practices, but, these practices have been honed over millions of years.
And just like human agriculture has evolved over time, ant agriculture also displays different levels of complexity. Think of it as a spectrum ranging from simpler systems to what scientists refer to as higher agriculture.
So what sets higher ant agriculture apart? What makes it so, high level?
Higher agriculture is characterized by large-scale cultivation, where the ants have become completely dependent on their farmed crops for survival. A prime example is Leucoagaricus gongulophoris, the fungal cultivar of the higher-tine ants. These ants simply cannot survive without it.
Wow. That level of dependence on a single crop is a huge step. It makes you think about the risks and rewards involved. Speaking of dependence, domestication has played a pivotal role in human agriculture. How does that compare in the ant world?
That's an excellent question. You see, domestication, where crops are genetically modified to benefit the farmer, is a hallmark of human agriculture. But it's not always a given in ant agriculture. This is a fascinating distinction that hints at the different evolutionary pathways taken by both systems.
So what does this tell us? Does it mean that ant agriculture is somehow less advanced because they haven't embraced domestication to the extent that we have?
Not necessarily. It's more about understanding the distinct evolutionary pressures and timescales at play. Remember, ant agriculture has been around for millions of years, while human agriculture has only been around for thousands.
So ants may have achieved a different kind of balance within their agricultural systems. It's like they've figured out how to sustainably cultivate their crops without needing to drastically modify them through domestication.
That's an interesting way to think about it. And it brings us to another important parallel between human and ant agriculture, the challenges. Both systems face threats that can disrupt that delicate balance, whether it's from pest diseases or even just the need for sustainable practices.
I bet pests are a huge issue for ant farmers. I mean, those gardens must be pretty tempting for all sorts of unwanted visitors.
You're absolutely right. For instance, there's the Escovopsis fungus, a parasite that specifically attacks the fungal gardens of ants. It's a constant battle for these tiny farmers to keep their crops healthy and productive.
It reminds me of the challenges faced by human farmers all over the world. Battling pests, managing diseases, trying to maintain healthy soil, and adapting to a changing climate.
Exactly. It highlights that maintaining a healthy and productive farm, whether you're an ant or a human, requires constant vigilance and adaptation. So what can we as humans learn from these resilient ants?
That's the big question, isn't it? I mean, they've been doing this for so long. Surely there's something we can take away from their success.
Perhaps the most important lesson is the value of resource diversification and sustainable practices. Just like ants have developed ways to manage pests and maintain their fungal gardens over vast stretches of time, we can learn from their strategies to create more balanced and resilient ecosystems in our own agricultural systems.
It's all about working with nature rather than against it.
That's a great way to put it. And that's something we'll explore further in the next part of our deep dive.
This is your need to know.
Our city humming, tires screaming, clock keeps running. I'm not dreaming. Yesterday's coffee, song on repeat, morning bleeds into endless concrete. Oh, rush hour calls, I no time to stall in our habits. Rush hour and yesterday's coffee. Ah, footsteps race, yesterday's grind is today's chase. Oh, we keep the beat. Beneath the heat, and our habits, and all I have is rush hour and yesterday's coffee. Phones keep ringing, emails stack up high. Oh, I'm still trying. Eyes burning dry, speeding like a lightning burst. Seems like only minutes drift by. Oh, no room to slow, all spins fast, don't you know? Oh, rush hour calls, no time to stall, and I have this rush hour and yesterday's coffee. Footsteps race, yesterday's grind is today's chase. Oh, we keep the beat, beneath the heat. Our hands tied tight, oh, still we fight. Morning rush, can't wait for the night. I keep on going, no end in sight. Oh, rush hour calls, no time to fall. Footsteps race, yesterday's grind, today's chase. Oh, we keep the beat, beneath the heat. Rush hour, oh, can't slow the power. Oh, yesterday's coffee fades in the shower, and I have habits when yesterday's coffee. And I have habits. Rush hour and yesterday's coffee, I have habits. Rush hour and yesterday's coffee, I have habits. Rush hour and yesterday's coffee. Oh, rush hour calls, no time to stall, and I have this. Rush hour and yesterday's coffee. Footsteps race, yesterday's grind is today's chase. Oh, we keep the beat, beneath the heat. Rush hour, oh, can't slow the power. Oh, yesterday's coffee fades in the shower, and I have that this. When yesterday's coffee, and I have that this. When yesterday's coffee. Oh, rush hour calls, no time to stall, and I have this. Rush hour and yesterday's coffee. Footsteps race, yesterday's grind is today's chase. Oh, we keep the beat, beneath the heat. Oh, rush hour calls, no time to stall, and I have this. Rush hour and yesterday's coffee. Footsteps race, yesterday's grind is today's chase. Oh, we keep the beat, beneath the heat. Rush hour, oh, can't slow the power. Oh, yesterday's coffee fades in the shower, and I have this. When yesterday's coffee, and I have this. When yesterday's coffee. When yesterday's coffee.
wild to think that ants have been dealing with pests and diseases for millions of years longer than we have. Like they've had this massive head start figuring out how to run a successful farm.
Absolutely. And they've evolved some pretty ingenious strategies along the way. One of the most fascinating is their use of antimicrobial substances to protect their fungal gardens.
Antimicrobial substances. So it's like they've got their own tiny pharmacies stocked with ant-sized hand sanitizer for their crops.
Yeah, you could say that. Ants have evolved glands that produce secretions with these potent antimicrobial properties, and that helps to keep those fungal gardens free from harmful bacteria and other pathogens.
So they've essentially developed their own natural pesticides, millions of years before humans even thought about it.
Exactly. And it's not just about chemical warfare either. Ants are also super meticulous when it comes to sanitation. They constantly remove waste and debris from their gardens, preventing the buildup of harmful microorganisms.
It sounds like they've got a whole integrated pest management system going on, much like, the best organic farmers today, which really makes you wonder, if ants have been so successful with these sustainable farming practices for millennia, what can we learn from them to improve our own agricultural systems?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? By studying these tiny farmers, we can gain these valuable insights into natural pest control methods, the importance of biodiversity, and the long-term benefits of working in harmony with nature. It's about understanding the principles behind their success and adapting those principles to our own unique circumstances.
It's like they're holding up this tiny magnifying glass to our own practices and revealing both the flaws and the potential solutions.
I couldn't have said it better myself. And it's not about becoming ant-sized farmers ourselves, right? It's about learning from their millions of years of experience to create a more sustainable and resilient future for our own agricultural practices.
Right. So it's not about, shrinking ourselves down to ant size and joining their colonies. It's about taking those millions of years of ant wisdom and applying it to the human scale challenges that we face today.
Precisely. And who knows what other secrets these tiny farmers hold. As we delve deeper into the world of ant agriculture, we're bound to uncover even more fascinating insights that can inform our journey toward a more sustainable future.
Now, remember that list of Latin names we mentioned earlier? Let's take a look at some specific examples of these diverse ant farmers, and what makes them so unique.
Absolutely. We were talking about general, like Siphomermex and Trichomermex, right? Well, within those groups, you've got species like Siphomermex morshi, found in Brazil, Siphomermex ramosus from the USA, Mycetogrochus triangularis, also from Brazil, and Trichomermex papulatus from Argentina, just to name a few.
Okay, so those are a mouthful. But, beyond their impressive scientific labels, what makes these particular ant farmers stand out?
Each of these species represents a unique branch on the evolutionary tree of ant agriculture. They've each developed their own specialized methods for cultivating their fungal crops. Everything from the types of substrate they use to the ways they manage pests and diseases can differ.
It's like each species has its own unique farming philosophy passed down through generations.
That's one way to put it. And by studying these diverse approaches, we can gain a broader understanding of the possibilities and potential within the realm of ant agriculture.
Yeah, it's a reminder that even within this tiny world, there's this incredible amount of variation and innovation going on.
This is your need to know.
In the wind, soft and light, let it spin. Folded edges torn in flight, drift too far out of sight. Soaring high, but falling fast. Fragile wings never last. Whispers break, fade away. Silent words lost in gray. Toss it up, watch it fall. Touch the sky, lose it all. Fingers reach, air is cold. Paper thin, hard to hold. Paper airplane, fold again, fold again. Fly away, fly away, fly away. Can't you stay, can't you stay, stay in bed. Fold again, fold again, fold again. Toss it up in the rain. Fall apart through the pain. Paper sharp and thin, faded lines where to begin. Caught on branches, tangled tight, paper airplane in the night. Lost direction, lost the way. Crumbled dreams, faded names. Toss it up, watch it fall, touch the sky, lose it all, fingers read, air is cold, paper thin, hard to hold. Paper airplane, fold again, fly away, can't you stay in bed, fold again, toss it up in the rain, fall apart through the pain. Paper airplane, fold again, fly away, flying crooked, chasing light, lost the fight. Empty hands, empty skies, no more tries. Catch the wind, watch it spin, and like glass it begins. Paper cuts, tearing slow, nowhere left to go. Paper airplane, fold again, fly away, can't you stay in bed, fold again, toss it up in the rain, fall apart through the pain. Paper airplane, fold again, fly away, fold it once, fold it twice, toss it far, chase the prize. Fold it once, fold it twice, paper airplane lost in ice. Fold it once, fold it twice, toss it far, chase the prize. Paper airplane, fold again, fly away. Paper airplane, fold again, fly away, can't you stay in bed, fold again, toss it up in the rain, fall apart through the pain. Paper airplane, fold again, fly away,
This is your need to know.
And that brings us to the amazing evolutionary journey of ant agriculture itself.
You're right. They didn't just wake up one day and decide to become farmers. It was a gradual process, right? With multiple stages of development.
Absolutely. What's remarkable is that many of the evolutionary stages that we observe in human agriculture are mirrored in the ant world. We see a progression from basic foraging to more deliberate cultivation and eventually to the complex systems of the higher-atine ants.
So it's like they're walking us through this whole history of agriculture, but in miniature. So can we trace those specific stages in ant evolution? Like, where did it all begin?
Well, it all starts with the ancestors of modern-day ants. These early ants were likely scavengers and opportunistic feeders, much like many ant species are today. But at some point, certain ant lineages began to develop a closer relationship with fungi.
So they went from, simply finding fungi to actually promoting its growth. Was that a sudden shift or a more gradual transition?
It was likely a gradual process driven by natural selection. Ants that were better at promoting fungal growth would have had a more reliable food source, giving them an evolutionary advantage. Over time, this led to the development of specialized behaviors like preparing substrates for fungal growth and even transporting fungi to new locations.
It's amazing to think that those early ant farmers were essentially shaping the course of evolution, both for themselves and their fungal partners.
And that co-evolutionary dance continued, leading to more and more specialized relationships. In the case of the higher Atene ants, they reached a point where they became completely dependent on their cultivated fungi. Their entire society is built around those fungal gardens.
It's like they've created their own agricultural civilizations, complete with this intricate division of labor and complex farming techniques.
That's a great analogy, and it highlights just how sophisticated ant agriculture truly is. It's not just about finding food, it's about managing an entire ecosystem, ensuring the health and productivity of their fungal crops.
And that brings us back to the lessons we can learn from these tiny farmers. I mean, they've achieved a level of sustainability and resilience that we can only dream of.
They've shown us that working with nature, rather than against it, is the key to long-term success. By studying their strategies, we can gain valuable insights into how to create more balanced and productive agricultural systems for ourselves.
It's amazing. These tiny creatures have created these intricate and efficient systems over millions of years. It's almost like they've perfected sustainable living.
Yeah, they really have. It's definitely something we humans can learn a lot from. We often talk about sustainability like it's this new concept, but ants have been living sustainably for millennia.
Yeah, they've turned it into an art form. And it all comes back to that idea we were talking about earlier, working with nature instead of against it.
Exactly. Ants have figured out how to create these systems that not only benefit themselves, but also contribute to the overall health of the ecosystem.
It's a lesson we desperately need to learn, especially with the challenges that our own agricultural systems are facing, Climate change, soil degradation, pesticide resistance, these are all problems that stem from our disconnect from the natural world.
You're absolutely right. And, while we can't simply shrink ourselves down to ant size and live in their colonies, we can certainly study their strategies and apply those principles to our own farming practices.
Yeah, it's all about finding ways to mimic those natural systems that have been refined over millions of years of evolution.
Precisely. Things like diversifying our crops, minimizing our reliance on chemical inputs, and promoting biodiversity. These are all lessons we can take from the ant world.
It's humbling to realize that these tiny creatures that we often overlook or even consider pests, may hold the key to a more sustainable future for our own species.
It really is. It just goes to show that we still have so much to learn from the natural world, even from the smallest and seemingly insignificant creatures.
Well, that was an incredible deep dive into ant agriculture. From their million-year-old history to their mind-boggling farming techniques, these tiny creatures have truly opened my eyes to a whole new world.
I'm glad to hear that. It's amazing how much we can learn when we take the time to appreciate the complexity and ingenuity of the natural world.
Absolutely. And I think the biggest takeaway for me is this. If ants can figure out how to create sustainable and resilient agricultural systems, then surely we can too.
I couldn't agree more. It's a challenge, but it's one we can't afford to ignore.
So keep those brains buzzing, folks. And the next time you see an ant, take a moment to appreciate the tiny farmer within. You never know what lessons you might learn. Until next time, happy learning.
This is your need to know.